But take a look at this: the morning schmo and Mrs. Schmo and a gaggle of doofuses. And I will notice that not a single one of them is an ethnic minority that I can tell. Not one of them. They're all white. It's a white-dominated show. He has minorities on from time to time, but not this time. It's white-dominated. Just like most of the Democrat Party in the Senate. All right, let's take a listen. Go.
Let's dive right in. Polls open in less than an hour in Georgia, where one of the most consequential primaries of the midterms is taking place.
Why is it one of the most consequential? Because they think, in fact, according to the pollsters, they know that Purdue's going to lose and that Kemp's going to win. And they're smiling, they're all excited and all. Meanwhile, the country's gone to hell under their guy, Biden, right? Go ahead.
Are several state and congressional races on the ballot, but the ones we're closely watching.
Ooh, let's cite the New York Times. You know more about the New York Times than most people. We're really watching Purdue. We expect him to get killed. And look at the New York Times, the Holocaust-denying, Stalin-supporting, Castro-creating New York Times. Go.
Are the Republican primaries for governor, Secretary of State, and Senate. The New York Times describes the background of today's races like this, quote, Georgia's got everything. Disputed elections, rapid demographic change, celebrity Democrats, a restrictive new voting law.
And a restrictive new voting law, even though they know right now, when they're reporting this, when she's reading this, that they're having record turnout compared to 2020 and 2018. Massive record turnout, especially in minority communities. So why do they keep saying a restrictive new voting law? Obviously, it's not restricting people from voting, is it? No. Go.
An open criminal investigation.
Now, they know the criminal investigation is another phony investigation in a heavy Democrat area by a Democrat-elected prosecutor who hates Trump. So they don't give any context or perspective to any of this. And she's giddy. She's giddy. I think she's going to have a bathroom excuse soon. She just, oh my God, it's unbelievable. Go.
Into Donald Trump's meddling in the 2020 election, a deep rural-urban divide, an unending drama between the Trump wing of the Republican Party and the local GOP.
See, they're setting it up that the GOP establishment beat MAGA. Now, that's not really what's going on here. Go ahead.
Establishment. That's a lot. Former Senator David Perdue, whose loss in the state 2 years ago helped give Democrats control of Congress, is running to unseat incumbent Governor Brian Kemp. Perdue was recruited by former President.
Now, you watch how they turn on Kemp should he win when he's up against Stacey Abrams. You watch how they just trash the hell out of Kemp. You watch. Today, he's the useful idiot. You know, they promote him. Tomorrow, he is a doubly useful idiot, should he get the nomination. And you can see the whole story's about Trump, Trump, Trump. Go.
Donald Trump to run against Kemp as payback for Kemp's refusal to overturn the 2020 election results, thus cheating.
And by the way, Stacey Abrams said yesterday, in so many words, explicitly, that Georgia is the worst state to live in. And as Fox reported, is that why she has multiple homes in Georgia? Is that why she wants to be governor of Georgia? It's the worst state. Well, that's a bumper sticker to run on, don't you think? Make me governor. You people suck. Go ahead.
But recent polling shows Perdue is trailing.
And those who are still defending him, John Heilman, seem to be going all in with Trumpism, seem to be looking backwards, looking back to 2020. And even
he brings in this sock puppet, this John Heilman. Get it? Heilman. Who's a complete jackass. Go ahead.
Some of the tactics of 2020. David Perdue yesterday using the fascist, talking about greatest hits, using greatest hits from fascist politicians. Told Stacey Abrams to go back to where she came from.
Yes, he did.
Go back to where she came from. A clear hallmark of what fascists from Mussolini forward have always done. Of course, I don't think he realizes she's from the land of cheese, the land of Jim Van Dyke, Wisconsin. But that's not exactly what he was meaning. So,
yeah, that is exactly what he meant. I don't defend it. I don't know the guy. I don't even care for Purdue, quite frankly. But all that said, that's what he meant. Go back to Wisconsin. You got a race in Alabama. One of the candidates was born in and was raised in New Hampshire, a white candidate. They told him to go back where he came from and so forth. But they can't help it at MSLSD, where racism is the coin of the realm. Go ahead.
It's desperate. It's ugly.
Look at Heilman, so self-righteous. Oh, I can't wait to hear what I'm going to say. Oh, I really can't. Go ahead.
And it's everything that you would expect from a Trump candidate.
Yes, and I would add, she's lived in Georgia since she was in high school, I believe. So,
Yeah, this is really painful.
And the other elements of that, Joe, I know you noted, not just fascist, but also racist. He decided to, because she had said over the weekend that that people shouldn't have to work.
No, he was responding to her comment that Georgia is the worst place to live. And that's when he said, well, maybe she should go back where she came from, which was Wisconsin. Just look at how they lie and they spin and they twist. If the guy was an out-and-out racist, you think any of us would be defending what he says, particularly me, who doesn't care about the guy? But I cannot stand the lying and the propaganda, and they say fascists and racists. Okay, how about Goebbels? There was a fascist, no? This sounds very Goebbels-like, what they're doing here. Go ahead.
You shouldn't have to work in agriculture and hospitality to have a job in Georgia. And he said, he decided to attack her, saying in some twisted sense of logic that she was somehow demeaning her own race. I mean, the notion that David Perdue should have anything to say to Stacey Abrams about how she decides to talk about her own race is itself.
Stacey Abrams is a propagandist, a demagogue. She says the most vile things. But they're upset about Purdue. Why don't they talk about what Stacey Abrams says and how she says it? Well, why would they? They're on MSNBC, the same network that has Al Sharpton, Joy Reid, Tiffany Cross, and of course, Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski. And that's just for starters. They have Nicole Wallace. They have this guy, Steve Schmidt, as a regular contributor. Just out in the open, in my view, people who push bigotry and racism and have this country so divided, it's not even funny, it's sick. Go.
It's not a dog whistle, it's like, a blaring air horn. And look, I mean, Joe, I think, there's a number of things to say here. David Perdue is about to be humiliated in this race, and so is Donald Trump.
There you go. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. You get this day in and day out from this group of these clowns, day in and day out, from a network that is pathetic. Now, this network, MSNBC, like NBC, as I've told you before, is owned by Comcast. So if you're really upset about stuff like this, you don't keep paying Comcast. You drop them.
Want to see more? Sign up for Levin TV.